Alright, so now I'll try not push the same button.
So that left part there is...
Yeah, so this is where the connection, the branch line, comes in. And I'll see if I can flip it around and we might get a better look at, yeah, it might look a little bit better for here. Okay, so basically what this part is where the connection comes into the liner. So you can see it good on, you know, this angle, this lip that's folding back here. When you're lining, you're going to have to do what's called reinstating, where you connect to the pipes. You want to give a little bit extra air pressure. The liner itself won't overexpand past about 2% of its size. But because you're going to reinstate it, you want to press it a little bit harder so that it kind of pushes a little bit up inside the fitting that it covers over. So if you can see this straight piece of pipe on the back, and then you can see this lip folding in. Now this part of the lip goes, you know, basically all the way around the pipe. You know, it has a lip that pushes back inside. And basically what we do is we come through and drill it, and then we sand it down and, you know, taper it. So all these edges are tapered down, you know, coming this way. But at these points, these connecting points right here, you have resin all the way around. It has a, you know, it has a seal that goes all the way around the outside of that.
And those pipes were connected anyway to this pipe.
Yeah.
That's still connected.
Yeah, that's still connected. And this is the connection for the upstairs bathroom, and I believe maybe not the laundry room, but I think in this bathroom area there's a couple of drain lines that come into that. So that one's good and it's open all the way. So that one's, you know, back in service. So I'll just push through here. Now the next one that we'll come up to is going to be...
That looks pretty clean, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean over time the liner will discolor, you know, from sewer gases.
Now what is all that? Is that just it adhere? That's just a blemish or that's just dirt?
That's just dirt. That's just, you know, it gets like a speckled effect. And as you're pushing through it, the camera's rotating. So this one right here, this is the next connection. Now this one's got a lot of dirt on it because when I made this connection, this is the one clean out that I found that had the issue with the roots. There was still roots trapped in here, bonded onto the resin.
Wow.
So when I drilled it out, you know, I had to drill it pretty hard to get it to come through. And then on the back of the drill head, I had the sandpaper paddles that we used to smooth it out. So, you know, I worked the roots for a few minutes to clean all of that out, and then we could actually see through that portion of pipe. It was about that long, and I had it open at this one end, and that's what, you know, we could see that it's all clear, and the roots were coming in from the back side of it. So again, it will have the same seal, you know, around here, because it doesn't open it up to the exact size. It opens it up to where there's a small area that's still bonded to the pipe itself. So once we pass through here, this is when it starts, you know, where you have this flat spot. And if you notice right here, the pipe shifted. This is where the cast iron pipe ends, and it changes to clay pipe. Now this clay pipe is shifted.
That's clay, yeah?
So it's shifted sideways, and then it's also dropped down. And that's why the water is starting like right here. We're already, you know, there's a little belly in the pipe, and it gets a little bit deeper.
Oh yeah, I see that.
But the line itself, you know, this is just debris that's been in the line. You know, you'll collect debris.
But is that flowing okay?
Yeah, no, it flows okay. It's just that you have about 5 feet of pipe that has a small belly in it.
Gotcha.
It's one of my paddles. But you know, it just basically you have the pipe is sitting like that.
I gotcha.
So it collects at that point, and then it spreads out, and then as more water comes in the back, it just lifts it, carries it, lifts it and carries it.
Okay.
Because, you know, past that point, you know, that's the only shift, and that's just because of the change in material. It's generally always a weak, you know, connecting point. Let me flip it around again, see if it. There. paddles are on the front there, so that's good. I'm actually pushing that stuff down the line.
That looks clean.
Yeah.
So that's still the clay pipe there?
Yeah. So this point up here is where the clean out is, the PVC clean out.
Oh yeah.
I had a little bit of edge hanging off it, but that will drop off. So this is going into your planter, and then we'll get to the point where we dug it up, which is right here, and this is the end of the liner right here.
I gotcha, yeah.
So now we're back into the PVC pipe, and I'm just going to push that guy all the way through. So this is the PVC pipe, and then I'll push this all the way out, just to show you that route at the end.
So in theory, the old cast iron, it was originally 4 inches, probably then worn out. So where do you think it is today when it's all said and done?
Well, the liner itself is a 3mm liner. So basically, once you factor in for the resin, you basically lose overall in the circumference of the inside of the pipe a quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch.
3 and 3 quarter inches. But the good thing is, it does speed up the flow of the pipe, and now you're coming into some PVC. So the pipe has really good flow capabilities. Even apart from that small belly, but the belly is not going to. It's not going to do anything. All right, so this is where the end of the PVC got to.
Oh, and that's the.
So now we're in the clay pipe.
Oh, there's a clay pipe down there?
Yeah.
In the street?
This is in the street, and this is where the roots were at the very end of the line, and now it's open. This is the city connection right here. This is where you connect to the city main. Now this joint back here, this is where all the roots were coming in, because this joint is actually shifting. So I can pull it back a little.
But that's out in the street, so that's the sewer itself?
Yeah. Yeah, but you're responsible to this connection. This is your property, out in the middle of the street, right to here. That's what you're responsible for. So, I mean, eventually the route's going to come back there, but it's hard to say how long it's going to be. It may be a year, it may be 3 years.
So what happens then?
Well, you have, if it was on a straight piece of pipe, I could do what's called a sectional repair, where I could make it like a 2 or a 4 foot repair, but because it's going around that 45-degree turn, the one option would be to, you would have to line that portion of the pipe from there out, from the front yard out, which, it could be done, and use because it changes in pipe size, you need to use a transitional liner, which goes from 4 inch up to 6 inch. That would cover, because basically when you shoot the liner through, the liner, you would stop the liner right here, so it covers that last joint. But then if you want to seal it completely for, maximum strength and maximum repair, after the liner's installed, if you were going to do that, you would install the liner, and you'd actually install the liner like to here, longer, and then what we do is we go in through the manhole in the street with a robotic grinder, and we grind out the liner itself, and then we adapt it to, it's basically a light assembly, a bladder that's like a T shape, and we apply it's a fiberglass repair, but it's a UV light activated fiberglass repair. It's probably the strongest material that I've ever came across. Its tensile strength is about 6 times the strength of the lining material that we use once it's cured. And what we do is we basically drive the crawler up to that point and inflate the bladder into position, and it opens up, and it's called a top hat repair. So what it does is it extends up into your main pipe, comes up to about here, but it also seals around the underside of this whole fitting from inside the city sewer. So it's, like I say, it's called a top hat. So if you imagine a top hat, it comes up, but there's no hole. Sorry, there's a hole in the top of it, and that bonds onto the liner, and it bonds onto the saddle, and you repair it. I mean, we've been doing quite a few repairs that way.
So the other way would be, I mean, you're not saying just to, as a choice, is to dig down and then change it all without this. I mean, just change it down as far as traditional plumbing, or you wouldn't do that, or you would do that.
I mean, you could do that, or I mean, that would be one option, you know, to dig down and fix that. Or alternatively, you could fix it all without touching any ground, like zero ground. You don't have to dig anything up. We can install the liners through your existing 4-inch clean out that's right there.
Oh, okay, and go down
in the front, install the liner, and then go through the manhole, and be done without. You wouldn't have to touch a shovel.
Okay.
But what that would give you is, you know, you basically have two repairs combined at the, you know, at that very end point. And we've even done them. I done one in San Marino about a month ago, and we had to grind out a tree stump that was through the saddle connection, and this is where we are right here. And we put a sectional repair on the city main. We, you know, did what's called a full wrap top hat. So we wrap it around the full main and then extend the top hat up, you know, inside the liner. And we built we did a structural repair and rehabilitation of that entire saddle and city main from back here. And you know, the repairs are stronger than the new pipe.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, there's ways to, you know, that we can do it, you know, we're minimizing the destruction, but doing it in a better way. Because if you think about it, if you dig down just to that point and make a repair just to that one fitting, now that's the best part of that pipe. You still have older pipe, you know, a couple of feet of pipe in between where that PVC ends and where that new joint has been made. And it's like, well, if you're going to have, you know, if you're going to spend money to dig down and fix that joint, it's going to cost you less money to do it robotically and you know, and remotely.
That makes sense.
And plus, you have warranty with the products that are used, the cosmic products that we use in the street. They have a 50-year warranty. And it's, you know, we use this stuff, you know, all the time because we can make repairs up to 500 feet away from inside the truck.
Pretty good.
You know, and it's all done, and you can do it underwater because it cures with UV light. So that would be one thing, you know, that you could do. I mean, you don't have to do it, you know, right away, because as long as that line can be cleaned, you know, because if the roots come back, then we can just hydrojet it and maintain it, because running a snake isn't going to be effective unless you run a full 6-inch head through there. You're just not going to do anything with it. Hydrojetting it, you know, will maintain it for a long time. Okay. And as long as it doesn't shift, if it doesn't shift any further, you don't have to do anything with it. If it starts to shift and move, then you would have to fix it.
So this should be checked out every year just to check it.
Yeah, just to be safe. You know, because the rest of it, you know, is not too bad, but it is old original clay pipe. Now, even though most of it is not affected by, you know, this new piece of PVC, you do still have a couple of feet that's still a potential problem, you know, down the line. But that's not to say it's going to be for years. You may find that, you know, it may be a couple of years before that roots back, but you also may find that it might be a year roots back because we have no moisture in the ground right now.
So that pipe really is a straight shot down. There's nothing holding in there.
Yeah, it's just a straight shot.
So you feel these are okay, tilted enough that there is a flow on these old pipes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, there's very little water in this pipe, so that's pretty good.
See, the kind of warranty I want from you is what you call a 10-woman, 20-woman, 30-woman warranty. That means to say, when these damn women come here for parties and Christmas, and my nieces, and they're my God, I want a 10-woman. Is this a 20-woman warranty at one time? Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you'll be in good shape for a long,
Now
long
that's still
time.
the
That's still the PVC.
PVC still, yeah.
We're coming up to the light.
Here we go, yeah.
Alright, so we're back in the liner now.
Mm.
So you can also see the difference in the material.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now this is going through PVC,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because there's a couple of feet of PVC pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it changes back to clay pipe. You might not be able to see the change, you know, because pipes are kind of smooth in size. And this, like I say, this is where your front clean out is.
Oh, yeah.
And that piece will knock off.
Uh-huh.
That's just from the sanding. Like I say, the worst, you know, the only thing, you're never going to be able to correct a belly in the pipe unless you actually dig it up. But this one's not, you know, it's not anything to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to have, you know, stuff collect there, and then it's just going to be like a, almost like a wave effect, you know, when it's pushing it.
Mm-hmm. As long as there's enough pressure, I guess.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to, you know.
Now, is that all water, or is that
Yeah,
just, or
that's
is it?
just water.
Okay, but there's the pipe, so it's still pretty open.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's open all the way.
Okay.
It's just because if you just imagine a pipe that's sitting, you know, and it's just sitting like that, so you just have a puddle inside the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I say, it's just because the pipe is shifting. You know, you've had a few shifts in the pipe over the years.
Yeah, clay, huh?
Yeah, and different types of material. You know, it's always a weak spot where you're connecting between other materials.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the liner changes in colour when it, you know, when it's going over a different type of material. And that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's the...
And we still have a little bit of debris sitting on the bottom of the pipe, but that should wash out, you know, in the cast iron.
Maybe I should let the water flow. I haven't really let it.
Yeah.
Now that's lime though, right? That's not. That's just debris.
Yeah, that's just debris. There we go.
Okay.
Good as new.
Sounds good. And by the way, Chris, did you check that clean out in the back, or is there no need to back there? There really is no need.
No, that one in the back, it comes in the back side.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's should be open again and flowing.
Okay, Chris.